Well, with tapping, probably one of the biggest things, and you might have seen it on the internet too. People are putting those little fuzzy string dampeners on their guitar strings because a lot of times they'll do some crazy multi-finger type tap stuff, and that works for a lot of people. And I may even eventually do it at some point. But the whole idea with tapping. Or for any technique for that matter, Hugh, is making sure that you don't have open string noise. Okay, because when you're playing with overdrive, and you've got both hands on the neck, the possibility of open string noise is almost doubled. All right, so we really want to try to make sure that we still employ some type of muting when we're doing our tapping.
Okay.
Now, a lot of times we need to also have a point of stability when we're tapping, or a reference point. Just like, you know, how you keep your thumb behind and as you're working your hand, the thumb follows. When we're tapping, if you're you know, in this range or higher, or even down here, it doesn't really matter. We need to have a point of stability for our hand. Excuse me. That follows wherever we might be tapping. So what I do is I usually put my thumb right on the ridge of my guitar. Okay. And when I go to access strings, I'll come down from that. Okay. So what's happening there is as I work higher strings, I'm dampening my lower strings.
The fleshy part of your thumb is kind of keeping the lower.
That's right.
Okay.
It starts here, and then if there are more strings down here, well, if the strings are like this, then as I'm going to higher strings, I'm sitting on those strings below. Okay. So it's just kind of like a hi, how you doing kind of thing. So, all right. So if I'm up here, you know, I would pretty much say all my hand is on there. When I'm on my lower strings. Okay, so
you're almost off,
Yep. Alright, so just kind of working in that direction. Now sometimes, depending on how fast you are, you may not have time to do that. But if you're hearing noise in the licks that you're learning that involve tapping, then this is something you may want to consider employing.
Okay.
Alright, so far so good? Okay. So there's scalar type tapping, there's arpeggio style tapping, there's multi-finger type tapping. It's really your choice as of how you want to use the tapping skill that you've acquired. So, but the concepts are all still the same. So let's, just for the sake of complexity or lack of, let's just do it against a pentatonic scale.
Okay. All
right. So we've always been playing it in the key of A minor, so we'll just stay in A minor for right now. So our fingers here are right across here in a pattern 1 pentatonic scale. Okay. Now, if we want to be strict to the scale, you would have to follow.
The second.
In that format.
Yeah.
Okay. But if you actually followed my safety zones tapping video that I did a while ago, you would know that if you were actually just following in a minor scale or even major scale, you would actually have access straight across for both of those frets. Okay, so you wouldn't have to come back here because this note still exists in the key of A minor. All right, it's the 3, 4, 5, 6. It's the 6th. Okay, so you can totally tap right across there if you want to. Okay. So let's look at that. So we're going to start high up on the high E string. So what that means is our thumb is up on the ridge there, and we're sitting on all those other strings. And you can even put your arm on the strings for that matter. Just totally relaxed. This part should be pretty much relaxed. The whole hand should be relaxed really, but we still need a spot to focus on. Okay, so when we're tapping, one of the things that I try to do is, well, what direction do we go in? Because there's a couple of things. You could do what's called a linear tap, meaning you tap all in one direction, meaning you always go straight back and then straight up, okay? I think Randy Rhoads used to do that style of tap where it's like that kind of thing, where you go from lowest note to highest and back again, okay? But then there's also the eddy tap, which is kind of like in one direction where it goes right? In that case, it's all just going that way.
Mm-hmm.
You can go the other direction too, which I think Eddie did in like Hot for Teacher went that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So there's the linear, which is straight up and back, so it goes that way and then back again.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the more Eddie style, which is in just one direction. Okay, regardless of what direction you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do the Eddie style for right now, okay? Because it's very popular. So what you're going to do is that first finger is going to come down.
Eddie who? Just kidding. Sorry.
Okay, so you're going to put that down. Now when that comes down, try to think of it as like a springboard. So when that first finger comes down, that pinky's going to come up. So bang, just like that.
Okay.
All right. Now when you go to take your finger off, yes, you're going to take some skin along with you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's going to grip that string. And then slam that pinky down. There we go. Exactly. So when you do that, try to think of it as a triplet. Very good. Okay, so linearly, you would start with this guy, pull him off to your pinky.
Mm-hmm.
So let's try that. And now the pinky hammers back down. There you go. So this one is more like a group of 16ths. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, exactly. So you've got your triplet. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. And you've got your more of a 16. Alright? So that's really easy stuff. Okay? So we can also move it up here if we want to. So we can... Okay, so 2 frets up from our pattern 1. Alright, so what we could do, that's kind of a fun little one with a group of 4. We could go...
Okay.
Alright, so let's give that a try. Exactly, good stuff. So let's work back in the pentatonic scale now, and we'll follow the same idea. So same tapping locations, right? And same shape with our left hand here. Good. Now as we're doing this, try to think about that bottom string, because we don't want him ringing out either.
No.
So as we're tapping, feel free to just kind of curl down just a little bit to touch that high E string.
Oh, okay.
Okay, to deaden them out there. Right, so... Feel alright? Good, you can really get in a good groove with that, eh? That's more... Yeah, if you're not doing it linearly as a 16th, then you're doing it more arpeggiated or more... Alright.
Okay.
So we've kind of done it like a bunch of times, sort of statically in one spot, and then moved it and sort of did it statically in the other. Where it becomes fun is if you can combine them. Alright, so... usually in a case like that, because we're kind of leading with the first finger, I would do the springboard technique, right, the triplet, and then go right to the next string. Yeah, so it takes a bit of work there. No, this is the triplet. 1 triplet springboard.
Oh, okay.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. You
You
can't
remember to
I
keep
know.
the finger from muting.
I know, eh? In a case like this, Hugh, one of the things that I try to do is I try to get both first fingers over on that string at the same time. Bang, bang. Get that first finger over. As soon as you tap, that first finger's got to be right over there. There you go.
That kind of,
Yeah, if you can time that right. shouldn't run into any issues timing wise. There you go. That's right. Yep. Again, if you're hearing
kinda,
open strings, then you know that to follow there.
Kind of left brain, right brain thing. Well, the pinky's in one spot, you got to be thinking move the other finger. Yeah.
Yeah, constantly in motion there.
That's cool.
So you get that kind of. If you want to try it on the 12th fret as well. Yeah, so go for it. Awesome. Okay, so you know there's no hard and fast rule saying if you're doing it on the 10th fret that you always have to do 10th fret for both strings. You could go, you know, or oh yeah, we didn't go the other way, so let's make sure that we're good with that too. So same idea, same approach. So start with the two first fingers being ready to go. Yep, and then get both first fingers ready to go on the next string. Yep. Which is really just what we just did, but going in a different direction, that's all. Good. Excellent. So you want to carry on through the rest of the pentatonic scale. Okay, so if we're on the G string, it's 5th fret and 7th fret with our left hand, but we can still stay on the 10th fret here. If you're to be pure pentatonic, it would be the 9th fret. Okay, but it doesn't really matter.
You could even move back and forth too.
Exactly, you got it. Or if you want to be a show-off, you could do 2 fingers. Something for another day. But here's a different idea then. If we know that works and this works, why we could go. Sure. You know, mix it around a little bit. Yep. Or if you wanted to, kind of chase it a little bit. If you wanted, you know, you could do like this is normally your tapping one, but we said that this was okay. Well, why don't we go like, and then move these guys up. Yeah. Why not? Sure. You're still in key there. All right, so let's see if we can scrape across 3 strings now. So we're gonna go. But just for ease, let's just stay on the 10th fret. Okay. So. Remember, both first fingers need to land at the same time. That's right.
It's hard for me to go from the first string to the thing. Okay, hang on.
Yeah, it's a bit of a brain teaser for sure. You got it. Isn't that nice?
Cool.
Now there's nothing saying that we can't skip strings too if we want to go right from... Absolutely we could do that. Sure. You know, just watch your muting there because you need to really kind of rock that hand. You know, so and again, 12th fret. You know, absolutely you can do that. All right, let's keep going. We're almost done here. All right, so the same shape for the next 2 strings back. All right, so. So we're staying on the 10th fret for right now.
Okay.
And then if you want to still stay on the 10th fret, that's fine. There we go. So That's right. Good stuff. So that's kind of fun there in those 3 strings, right? So if you want to make it sort of a cascading sound, you could do it in groups of 3. So you would start on the low E string and go up 3 strings, and then start on the 5th fret, or sorry, 5th string and go up 3, and then just keep following on every string.
Okay. That's it.
Yeah, now go. Yep.
Oh man.
Yeah, I know, eh?
Cool.
It messed my head up some fierce when I was first trying to figure this out, man. I was like, where am I going here?
That's
But
cool though.
you can go back the other way. Sorry. You know, it's a lot of busy finger work, but when you do it in this cascading method, it's a lot less scalar sounding. Like this is awfully scalar sounding. You can hear that.